These pens don't work. Okay. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's Board of Appeals hearing. Before we begin, let me introduce the members of town government that act as advisors to this board. To my left is Valerie Manzo, counsel to the board. To her left is Kelly Brown, representing the planning department. To her left is John Bongino, town building director. Now let me tell you why you're here tonight. New York State statute requires that any town that adopts zoning must also have a board of appeals to act as a relief valve so that those persons aggrieved by strict application of the zoning ordinance can seek relief without the expense of going to court. Town board can give Board of Appeals additional powers such as special exception approvals, site plan approvals, etc. In Smithtown, the town board has given this board authority regarding certificate of existing use and some special exception uses. The most common kind of application before the board are area variances. Area variances deal with dimensions such as lot area, frontage, height, setback, and parking spaces. New York State statute mandates that the board must consider the following 5 criteria in area variances. When you come to the podium to present your application, you need to address these 5 areas. They are posted here for you. Number 1, whether an undesirable change will be produced in the character of the neighborhood or a detriment to nearby properties will be created. Number 2, whether the applicant has other feasible alternatives. Number 3, whether the variance is substantial. Number 4, whether the adverse impact on the environment will be created. And number 5, whether the alleged difficulty is self-created. The statute requires the board to balance the interests of the applicant and those of the neighborhood or community. This statute further requires that the board shall grant the minimum variance as shall deem necessary and adequate, and at the same time preserve and protect the character of the neighborhood and the health, safety, and welfare of the community. The board has the power to impose reasonable conditions for granting variances. Use variances are so rare that we won't describe them unless we have one in front of us. Special exception applications are different than area variances. When we have a special exception application before us, I'll explain the different criteria for each. Regarding procedure, cases will be called in order that they are advertised. When your case is called, please come forward, submit your affidavits to Ms. Brown, and you'll be sworn in at the podium. And then you will be given the opportunity to explain to the board why you need the variance. After the applicant is done speaking, all interested parties will be given one opportunity and only one opportunity to be heard. So please organize your thoughts, keep your remarks factual that are related to the case. Then I will ask the applicant to come back to the podium to answer your concerns. The board will then close the case and reserve decision. After all the hearings are closed, the board will review the cases and decide some of them. Others will be reviewed at a later date. There are 3 ways to find out the results of the case. Number 1, you can wait until after the public hearing, but there's no guarantee that the board will act on your case tonight. Number 2, you can call the planning department tomorrow afternoon. And 3, applicants can wait and be notified by mail. We do have an adjournment. Case 16548, Michael Wareham, 275 River Road, St. James. Was there anyone here for that case? That has been adjourned to December 13th. Okay. All right. First case tonight, case 16544, Napatanzis, 11 East Main Street, Smithtown. Location: north side of East Main Street, east of Bank Street, Smithtown, property zone CB. Request a special exception to modify outdoor dining, increase the area from 160 square feet to 320 square feet. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a special exception. If they meet all the criteria for this special exception, because it's a permitted use, this board must approve it. However, If they don't meet the special exception criteria, then this board needs to deny it. But they are able to ask for variances. All right? May I, come on up, please. May I have your name, please?
Yes, Daniel Stapleton.
Yeah.
I'm one of the owners of Nappertandis.
Yeah, let me have your address.
14 Chuck Court, Port Jefferson, New York 11777.
All right, raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, take that mic and just,
Okay.
good, perfect.
All right.
Thanks. May I have your name, please?
John Gleason,
And your address, John?
336 6th Avenue, St. James.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
We're here to, for a special exception use for outdoor seating at Nappertandis. We were here about a year and a half ago for initial seating area, approximately 132 square feet. That's been up and running. Since then, the owner has occupied the building next door, the tenant space, and expanded the bar restaurant, and wants to just basically have the outdoor seating across the whole front of his facade and face, that's facing Main Street. I believe, just like the previous special exception and a PAR that was issued from the planning department about a year and a half ago, we meet all the criteria for a special exception. If you want to run through them.
Well, the
item by
problem
item.
is, we don't have a PAR for this application.
Right, and a secret too, I believe, right? I saw
And we
it
don't
on
have
the
a
sheet.
secret.
Okay.
So I'll hear everything, and then you have the opportunity to, when the PAR is done, to come back. So I'll adjourn it, and then I'll let you come back,
Okay.
all right, so that you have that to you.
Sure, I guess I'll just put in the minutes here, record in the minutes, the different items.
Sure.
Real quickly.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. As you know, special exception requirements for outdoor seating in town of Smithtown, you have to meet a couple criteria. The first point being that the dining area is not within any residential district. We comply with that. The dining area is not less than 10 feet from the curb line. We comply with that stipulation as well. The area of the dining is not more than 1,000 square feet and therefore does not require an additional parking space. The dining area is not covered by any structure. Furniture will be stored between April 1st and October 31st only. They're basically during warm weather months as stipulated in the code. There won't be any use in the outdoor dining area between 11 p.m. and 7 a.m. in the morning. And there are currently no loudspeakers installed that are in the outdoor seating area proposed. So I hope that the PAR would take those factors into consideration
Right,
and that we meet the special exception use.
all right.
Thank you.
Blaine, do you think that PAR will be done by the next meeting? That's in 2 weeks.
It should be,
All right.
yes.
Why don't I adjourn it then to November 22nd,
Okay.
all right?
Yep.
And at that time, when the PAR is done, we will send that to you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right? I should let you see it, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
Planning, do you have anything else?
No comment.
Gentlemen? Okay,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much.
Good.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's regularly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16545, Robert Aspromonte, 18 Gaymore Lane, Comac. Location, west side of Gaymore Lane, north of Bryan Road, Comac, property zone R10. Request variance to reduce minimum total side yard from 28 feet to 23 feet, 23 feet existing, for a proposed 59 square foot deck. And your name, please.
Robert Aspromonte,
And your address, Robert.
18 Gaymore Lane in Comac.
Okay. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, I would.
Okay. May I have your name, please?
Edward Koenig, 16 William Avenue, East Islip, New York.
All right. Spell your last name.
Koenig.
All right. Raise your right hand.
Madam Chairman, I have the application posted in here, and it's signed on November 2nd. The date has to be changed.
Yeah, it was supposed to be done today.
But the sign was up the required number of days, though.
Still was supposed to be done today.
I think he can redate it,
Okay.
because he's under oath, and he said the sign was up for
Okay.
Yes,
the required number of days until today.
yes.
Do you want him to have it redated
He
and then
really should,
re-notify?
yeah, he should have somebody notarize it today,
Okay.
that it was up till today.
Well, they won't,
No, I can hear him right away. If you could just redate it after we hear the hearing and have Mr. Tramarko, all right? if
Sure.
he will do that. All right?
sure.
Okay. Go ahead.
My client is requesting a variance to reduce their minimum required side yards for a deck at grade behind their existing garage. This is in association with a permit to finish the interior of the garage as living space. A previous homeowner had a small 5.5-foot addition put on the kitchen on the right side of the house, which has reduced the minimum side yards. By infilling the rear of the garage with the deck, we're not encroaching any further on our side yards. This is also in relation to a building permit for a small detached shed in the back left-hand corner of the property. I also have in my possession a letter from an adjacent homeowner, which was also forwarded to the Zoning Board of Appeals, from a homeowner who has a problem with possibly further encroachment near his property. But I assume the homeowner didn't take a look at the application that was at the town, because we are not encroaching any further on the property lines. I assume it was his assumption that we were building an addition in the back of the house. Maybe from his wording of the letter, he thought there was going to be a detached garage in the back of the property, which obviously is not.
Planning?
We have no problems with this application.
Okay. Gentlemen?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, do you want to get that back? And is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? All right, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Gregory moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Thank you. Next case is case 16546. Anthony and Lisa Labrusi, 36 Sandalwood Drive, Smithtown. Location, east side of Sandalwood Drive, south of Dale Lane, Smithtown, property zone R10. Request variance to permit environmentally sensitive land to be altered. Seasonal high water table of less than 10 feet for a proposed pool.
Madam Chairman, members of the board, my name is Vincent Tramarko. I represent the applicants. My office is at 1038 West Jericho Turnpike, Smithtown, New York. This is an application. In effect, we have to come here because we have groundwater less than 10 feet. I'll give to you a measurement done by McDonald Geoscience, which indicates the groundwater is at about 6 feet. The purpose of the application is to request you grant us approval to build a swimming pool at the subject site. I've discussed this with my clients and also with the pool builder who happens to be here tonight, and he tells me that the pool will be constructed at approximately 6 foot in depth at the deep end. So, not that it couldn't be constructed deeper at the deep end, but that's what my clients wish to be done. They're ready to go, just based upon your approval. There's no other variances requested, meets all the side yard, rear yard requirements. We don't think that this will be an undesirable change in the character of the area. It's a swimming pool, if you look at the survey. It's towards the back end of the property, meeting all the setback requirements. Can the benefit be achieved by some other method? No, the groundwater is the groundwater, and obviously we have to live with that. Whether the requested area variance is substantial, not in this situation. Whether the proposed variance will have an adverse impact on the environment or the physical characteristics of the neighborhood. It will not. It's a swimming pool. And whether the difficulty was self-created. They didn't create the difficulty. God created the difficulty, having them to deal with high groundwater in this particular area, which is right off Mount Pleasant. It's an older development, and they've been suffering with high groundwater for many, many years. If the board has any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Planning?
We would ask that it would be approved with the condition that the pool bottom be 2 feet above the groundwater.
Can't do it. That would make it a 4-foot in depth, 4-foot in depth pool. They want to build 6-foot in depth, and if you want, you can take testimony from the pool installer. I'm sure it was built hundreds of pools. They build pools in the water. They pump out the water, they put the liner in, and they put water in it, and there's no problem. So I think the request of the planning department is unreasonable. It's unnecessary. There would be no environmental effect, and there's no effect on adjoining neighbors. It's not a question of anything other than the fact that it's right at the top of the groundwater. If groundwater comes higher, the groundwater will be suppressed by the pool water, which is in the pool. And that's the way they build them. And if you want, I can have my client's pool builder come up and explain that to you so that you're not concerned about any issues with the construction of the pool.
All right.
Introduce yourself and explain about.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Robert Baldwin, owner of Pools.
All right. May I spell your last name, please?
Baldwin, like the actor.
Okay.
Baldwin.
And your address, please.
83 Elm Avenue, Smithtown.
Okay. Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I guess a few things. One, obviously Long Island has water under the whole island. And I've been doing pools since 1969. And Smithtown's the only town that has this rule about the 10 feet. The whole South Shore, 70% of the pools that are built over there deal with this groundwater. And basically, if you did hit the groundwater, you set pumps, you empty the pool water under the pool, and then once you put the pool liner in, the water pressure in the pool equalizes the water pressure outside the pool, and the pool just stays there. Then let's say, whatever, 10 years, 15 years, if you ever had to do a liner change or something like that, you hook up to the same old pump lines, and you pump the water out from under the pool. You pull a liner out, the pool underneath is dry at this time, and then you would put the new liner in, fill it with water, and then when the groundwater comes back, the pressure equalizes each other. And my brother-in-law lives on Dale. We did his pool like 4 years ago, and there was no such request from the town that we had to get this variance. And it's in the same place. And if you go down Brilna, down Dale, down Sandalwood, I would say 40–50% of the houses there have pools. We open and close 8 pools on Brilna, which is the next block. And it's in the same situation as far as having a high water table, less than 10 feet. So this pool, those pools have diving boards and they're 8 foot deep. This pool is only going to be 6 foot deep, and the water table is 6 feet. So we probably will not even touch the water table at all on this particular case because it's only 6 foot deep. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Gunite or is it?
Vinyl liner,
Do you
yes.
have to do anything to support the framing?
Yeah, this framing is cemented in on the pools, all of them.
Thank you.
Okay? Thank you.
Any other questions? Gentlemen?
I just want to ask a planning question.
Go ahead.
Can you tell us what impact you're concerned with in terms of what the planning department is concerned would be the impact of putting the pool in the way they want to do it?
There has been, high groundwater table in that area, and it does shift a little bit. And based on the plan that was given with the depth of water on the property, it was only like a half a foot or something like that, like 0.5. So we were just afraid if something else changed, there would be a problem with the pool, since it was already, there wasn't much of a distance in between.
What might happen?
I don't know. The pool possibly could come up, the ground possibly could sink. We were just concerned with putting a structure so close to the high groundwater
But
table.
nothing to the neighbors or anything?
No, nothing to adjoining neighbors, no.
Thank you.
Well, I think you've heard from an expert who started building pools a little after I started, but I won't hold myself out as an expert now. But I do remember pumping and putting in 8-foot pools in 4 foot of groundwater. And, I've never had any problem with the ones that we built many, many years ago, and they were made out of wood with a vinyl liner. I think we've explained to you the way this is done. Construction-wise, there isn't an issue, and it doesn't have a safety issue with respect to my clients or anyone else that's in the area. This is the way we do it. As our pool guy said just now, in the South Shore, 60–70% of the pools are built in water. That's just the way of Long Island. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved.
Second?
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16547, Recla Equity, 225 Broad Hollow Road. I'll do the location. West side of Ricefield Lane, south of Parkway Drive, South Hopog, Property Zone LI. Request variance to reduce the minimum required front yard landscaping area from 80% to 45%. Reduce the front yard setback to parking area from 50 feet to 0. Reduce the overhaul landscaping required from 18% to 16%. And your name, please?
Guy Germano. My address is 4250 Veterans Memorial Highway, Hopog, New York. I represent the applicant and the owner, Recla Equity Partners, LLC.
Is he an attorney? Are you an attorney? Yes, I am. Okay. Would you do me a favor, if you don't mind? Could you take that microphone with you and walk with it so that you could be heard? I would appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Like a rock star. To orient you, this is the...
You got to use that mic.
Right. This is the building here. Ricefield Lane is here. And we have a little area map here which shows the building and the parkway here. And this is I can't even read it. Service Road Drive here. This is the Hopog Industrial District. The building is inside the district. And you can see, I think you have a copy of the survey? The site
We
plan?
do.
Yes. What the request here is essentially to let to permit the existing conditions, basic parking conditions to remain. And the request that we're asking for is in the shaded area here, where we have parking in the front setback. And you can see, this is the aerial view of the property. You can see we have a large green area actually in front of the building, a landscaped area here, and there's some trees here, over in here that remain, and you can see how the parking goes around. There's a large area of trees in the back here, and this is a high spot, and there's a retaining wall around the back. We have enough parking the way it's set up, so we meet the parking requirement, but we need relief on the landscape, front setback, front landscape requirements, essentially leaving it the way it is. I have here tonight Mr. John Breslin, an attorney and appraiser, to testify with regard to the area variance considerations for the board.
I don't know if you want to do this now. We went to look at it yesterday, and I believe some of the parking spaces now are on someone else's property.
Yes.
I'll address that.
Okay, so let me just say to you that we asked them to look at to do a sketch, the planning department, that I have here. I don't know if you'd like to look at it and see if this is feasible for you to use, or you want to change it, or I don't know how you'd like to handle that. I'll let you look at it
Take a look at it.
and see. Or you're going to just have to, I guess, move the parking spaces back.
Well, I'm just going to address that
Okay,
to Chris.
why don't we do it that way?
The owner of the property in 25 Ricefield also essentially is the owner through, its sister corporation of 135 Ricefield. So the fact that the part of their parking and the curb, in fact, sits on the 135 Ricefield property, it's there by permission, and has been for many, many years. I think it was built this way. Historically, I looked back at one of the very old maps. This property, before my client purchased it, his property went essentially this way, like that. And then at some point, this building was built, and this property was subdivided this way. And that's why you get this strange configuration, and hence part of the parking issues that we have. And at the time that was done, this curb was either put there or not moved. It's existed that way for many years. And as I said, my client, Recklers, own this piece as well as this piece and have no problem with the essentially shared parking arrangement.
All right. What did you recommend? Anything from planning that?
The planning department recommended variance to reduce minimum required front yard landscaping area from 80% to 62%, reduce front yard setback to parking area from 50 feet to 6 feet, and the planning department recommends denial of the overall landscape required from 18 to 16. We feel that the plan that we kind of just, we had prepared addresses the 84 parking spaces within the property itself with little hardship to the property owner of moving possibly an air conditioning unit and moving a retaining wall and not having to reduce the landscaping area. This is not saying that you have to accept this plan as is. If you wanted to come back with something that might be a little bit different, but still stays within what we've requested, we would definitely look at it and work with you.
All right. Yeah, let's see how you have. All right. I mean, this is the first, obviously, we've seen of
I
this.
know that. First, we've seen it too.
Yeah, and in fact, I called yesterday to see if there was any comments, and told there weren't. But anyway.
this was done today.
Today, okay.
In all honesty, we weren't
No,
trying
no,
to hide
assumed-
anything.
I assumed you weren't, but I just was like,
No,
I'm surprised.
not at all.
I-
And
I-
again, we just gave this as a guideline to show you that
Yeah.
it can be done, and if,
One of the problems, I mean, what happens if you do that is this set of trees here, which is quite mature, if you can see here, this would be eliminated. And then this wall here,
All right,
see this? This wall and then this.
I have to have, you gotta go back with that.
Okay.
Just, and we'll,
This is an elevation here. I don't have a, you can't see it from the bird's eye view, but this is elevated at least that high. It goes up. So this would all have to come down, and then quite a steep retaining wall flush to the neighbor property would have to be constructed to do that. I mean, we don't really see the reason to do that. And I'd like to have Mr. Breslin come up and testify with regard to the neighboring properties in the area. I mean, you can see, you know, that in fact, the parking lots here abut each other, and over here, they all butt each other on the property line. So the condition is not dissimilar from other buildings, older buildings in the neighborhood. Okay. Mr. Breslin.
Good evening.
good evening.
John Breslin, 44 Elm Street, Huntington.
Raise your hand. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
I was requested on behalf of the applicant to study the proposal and give an opinion with respect to its impact on real property values in conjunction with the standards under 267 of the town law. And with respect to that, I was provided with the application materials, of course, visited the subject property in the surrounding area. I have a series of 25 photos, but I have two I think that might be very helpful to look at the outset that deal with that area that Mr. Germano was talking about, in the area where the retaining wall exists and where the large mature trees are. Might be helpful to look at to give it on the visual plane, looking straight at it, as opposed to on the aerial, to area that would have to be changed in order to provide that cleared area in the back to have the parking that was suggested by the staff.
Thank you.
What those photos depict that I handed up is the area back here behind the building, in this area back here. In the area that where the applicant is seeking the relief is this front corner of the property here, which is this shaded area here on the plan. And what I think the rest of the photos that I'll submit in a moment show you is that this condition has existed on the property for many, many years. It's not something that's a change or an alteration, and you're talking about a parking area that abuts another parking area at the property immediately adjacent to it, which is exactly the same condition that exists on the north side of the property, and it's similar to a condition that exists directly across the street, where you have the two properties that are directly opposite. So it's not something that's an unusual condition in this vicinity, and certainly the condition has existed on this property for many, many years without having an adverse impact on surrounding real property values. Could it be altered in such a way to have technical compliance? I think certainly it could, as in analyzing the standards, but from an economic, the changes, and because of the change in the grade, it's a very substantial expense that would have to occur to do that, and I don't think that there's any real benefit that would come of that. You're talking about creating a modest landscaped area here in between two parking areas and a very intense parking area here, and eliminating a very large mature green area here. I don't see the benefit that would be accomplished by doing that. All other aspects of the subject property would remain the same. This came about as a result of an upgrade to the property that was ongoing by the existing occupant. What happened was the occupant filed a building permit to renovate the building, and it was determined in the course of that process that there was a site plan deficiency with respect to this. So part and parcel of this application is a physical upgrade to the overall property, which is a benefit, obviously, to the property that surround it. All of the requisite municipal services are available to the property, and I believe by granting the relief, you're certainly not going to change or alter the pattern of development that was long ago established with respect to this property as well as the community. And again, I don't think it's going to have any adverse impact on real property values. I'd like to hand up the rest of the photos that I was referring to. There are another 23 altogether, all are labeled. All were taken by me within the last several weeks. I don't know if you want this back, the plan.
Sure. Thank you.
And this exhibit is another, this is just a layout of the tax map, and it shows the configuration of the property as it relates to the neighbors. And Mr. Germano also indicated the relationship of the properties where the property line crosses, and I think there's photos that show this line, and there's no, well, the property line clearly on the survey shows that it crosses. Physically, you can see the curb line. The curb line in the photo shows the demarcation of the two sets of properties. I think that can be cleared up most easily by an easement between the two property owners so that the physical conditions that exist can match between the properties as an alternative to making significant physical changes to the site. It can be cleared up much easily between some type of an agreement between the two property owners to leave the parking the way it is physically. Be happy to answer any other questions. Thank you.
Anything, gentlemen?
The only question I have is, what are you proposing to change the way the site sits, as it sits today?
Yeah, that change, any change.
The application is to leave the status quo, the way it is, the way it's been for many years.
Okay.
There hasn't been a change to it, not in recent time.
What's that?
They were deficient in landscape.
You know, I know that. I just wanted to know if you were going to propose anything, because, I mean, we were at the site today, and to me, it's probably one of the worst looking
Well, we would clean
buildings on the street from my point of view.
Well, they're just fixing up the exterior. I think the front entrance was fixed up, and they would, fix up the parking lot as part of what they're doing.
Okay, that was the only concern I had. Is
Yeah,
that
no,
if you're gonna not be held to as too high a standard as everyone else with respect to buffers on the street, I mean, they should do something to kind of make it look a little bit better.
We would do that. We would work with the planning department to do that.
Thank you.
Let me just ask you, did this go to site plan review when it first?
No, I mean, in when? When it was built?
When it was built, yeah.
I assume there was a site plan review then. I don't know.
I don't know that answer. I don't.
It has a CO.
I would think that this building followed the processes of if it needed variances, site plan approvals, and then building permits.
Yeah.
Okay.
It has a valid CO, so the presumption is it was correct at the time.
Okay. Any other questions?
I was going to say. We would agree to, as a condition of approval, to upgrade the parking lot and make changes and talk to the planning department about that.
Okay. All right, well, yeah, like I said, we were there, we were all there yesterday, not together. But I just thought maybe it was a lot of wasted space too, that where you have it set up, as far as your parking and you.
It works, and the tenant is happy with it. And
Okay.
the only thing that in order to make it to do what the planning department is suggesting, requires taking this berm this area down and taking the trees down, which actually create you can see the buffer line here between the buildings. I don't know, it's to me. And then having to build a significant wall right up against the property line to create that, because it's not flat.
To me personally, I don't, if the parking works for the applicant, I'm less concerned about that, because that's in the rear of the building where it's basically for their use. The concern that I have is that everyone else in the industrial park is required to have these buffers in the front to kind of give it a certain look and a certain curb appeal, and that's the only thing that I'm really concerned with on this one.
Well, we can certainly add some landscaping in here between parking and the cars. We have the trees in here, and we can certainly fix this up.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. I mean, if we could work out the parking with an easement from the adjacent parcel and the...
We can do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
So, okay.
Any other questions, gentlemen?
No questions.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you so much. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Really moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. The next case, 16548, Michael Wareham, has been adjourned to December 13th. Was there anyone that was interested in that case? Okay. The next case is case 16549, Doris and Joseph Venture, 10 Sun Hill Road, Wisconsin, location. West side of Sun Hill Road, north of Town Line Road, Wisconsin, property zone R15. Request variance to reduce the minimum rear yard from 60 feet to 44 for an existing 314 square foot wood deck. Reduce the rear yard from 60 feet to 55 for an existing 423 square foot sunroom. Reduce the distance to any lot line from 8 feet to 5 for an existing 131 square foot wood shed. Your name, please?
Joseph A. Ventry.
And your address, Joseph?
116 Smithtown Boulevard, Apartment 8B.
Good. Will you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
Dear board members, I am here for a zoning variance for the rear yard setback for an existing sunroom with deck and rear yard shed. The sunroom and deck are attached to the house. The sunroom footprint is contained in the confinements of the house envelope. The structure presents no harm to the environment and produces no noise or odor in the neighborhood. The structures don't interfere with any view and aren't a hinder to any neighbor or properties. I had a company locate the Smithtown install the fabric sunroom, and at the time, some 25 years ago, I had assumed that they obtained a permit. I have understood that this same company has a habit of doing this in a lot of locations in the township. So what brings me here today is that I myself created the issue by not having a CO for the structure. I hope the board members have reviewed my application and may visit the property and see that the setback and variance is not excessive. I ask for a favorable ruling in the case.
Planning?
Planning has no problems with this application.
Gentlemen? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Ready, move to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16550, Leonard and Doreen Worth, 33 Rayburn Drive. Are they here? Oh, okay. Comac. Location, south side of Rayburn Drive and west of Weldon Lane. Comac, property zone R10. Requests variance to reduce the minimum total side yard setbacks from 28 feet to 25 for a proposed 317 square foot first floor addition. And your name, please.
Leonard Worth,
And your address, please.
33 Radburn Drive, Comac.
Will you raise your right hand, please? You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, I will.
Thank you. May I have your name, please?
Good evening. My name is James Kriegel, Kregel,
Okay, and your address.
23 Byron Road, Comac, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. You want to tell us why you're here, please?
We're here to remove an existing Florida room to living space since the family has grown. In doing this, the addition will not infringe on any neighbors. What's going to happen is there's approximately 3 feet of setback. This property has a large front yard, and it is a pie shape. So unfortunately, we have nothing to do with the way that the plot was planned out. The design of the room, if we try to cut it back, would not conform with the rest of the property there. This addition has nothing to do with any of the rivers or ponds, and it would not infringe on any environmental. Unfortunately, it's because the original builder, the size of the plot, we're limited to do what we can do.
Planning?
Planning has no comments.
Gentlemen?
No, nothing, thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Ready, moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16551, Clementine Sison, 63 Winnie Comac Circle, Kings Park. Location, south side of Winnie Comac Circle, east of Winnie Comac Circle, Kings Park, property zone R21. Request variance to reduce the front yard from 50 feet to 16. Reduce the minimum side yard from 16 feet to 9 feet. Reduce the total side yards from 34 feet to 25 feet for a proposed in-ground swimming pool 16 by 35. Reduce the front yard from 25 feet to 0 for a proposed 6-foot PVC fence. And your name, please?
Clem Sison,
And your address?
number 63, Winnecomac Circle, Kings Park, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
All right. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes, I do.
My name is Peter Booth, B-O-O-T-H,
And
5 Kirk Avenue, Ronkonkoma, New York.
All right. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Good evening, Madam Chairman, members of the board. Mr. Sison comes before the board requesting a front yard setback variance as well as a side yard setback variance for the installation of an in-ground swimming pool and also 0 setback for a 6-foot PVC fence. Due to the size of the shape of the piece of property, more or less a pie-shaped piece of property, he's actually limited as to space. He has a lot of space on the side yard, which he's limited in the rear yard. He does have some decking and so on in the back, but in order to maintain the setbacks, he would not be able to meet the 10-foot off the sheds and so on that he has in the backyard. Therefore, going on the side, he's requiring a 16-foot setback, which, you know, is a much larger setback than is normally required on the side yard. But we put this before the board for any questions or recommendations.
Planning, you want to go?
The planning department has a number of concerns. No other tall fences are in the front yards within sight of sight. The site is not unique, and granting a variance here would lead to more tall fences in front yards, which would reduce the spacious streetscape that currently exists. There is room in the rear for a pool. The shed would need to be removed. The pool could be rotated and set back on the side of house, not to need front yard variances. The fence would obstruct existing site distance for vehicles eastbound on Winnie-Comack Circle. The benefit to the applicant in granting the variance is outweighed by the detriment to the public safety and welfare. There is little benefit to the applicant in that a pool could be built on the site without a variance, but the impact of having a pool and fence in the front yard would create a safety hazard and would adversely alter the character of the neighborhood.
Thank you. Let me speak with the homeowner to see if he has any suggestions as far as possibly relocating the pool or coming
Okay.
up with another design.
Like I said, I think what you guys applied here is incorrect, because what she said, with the fence constructed in the front, it's not gonna be obstructing anything eastbound or westbound in that block.
Well, I know, and
I think you guys have it wrong.
no, with the fence.
Fence should be over here.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
The homeowner would like to possibly come up with a different location for the pool and possibly resubmit if they can.
I think that's a wonderful idea. Okay, so why don't, you're going to have to re-advertise,
Okay?
all right? Because I'm sure there'll be different variances. So you're going to have to reapply, re-advertise it,
Okay?
all right? And then we'll put you onto the schedule,
Very good.
all right?
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Have a good night.
Okay, here you go. Was there anyone here for that application? Okay. I don't know. I don't think there was a drawing. They're just going to re-advertise, right? They're not withdrawing it. Yeah. Yeah, all right, so.
So you probably have to deny without prejudice.
Yeah, we'll deny without prejudice.
And then he'll reapply,
But-
right? I know, but it's a whole different
Because
aspect.
just moving the pool a little bit would change the application.
So you think he can just amend his application?
If it's small enough, yeah.
Okay,
Give him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay.
yeah. All right, next case is case 16552, Martina and Winston Cover, 135 Southern Boulevard, Wisconsin, location, east side of Southern Boulevard, south of Diane Court, Wisconsin, property zone R15. Request variance reduce the minimum total side yard setback from 34 feet to 31 for an existing 125 square foot first floor addition. May I have your name, please?
Marita Cover. I know it says Martina, but it's Marita.
It's Maria?
Marita, Marita.
I'm sorry about that.
That's okay.
And do I have this spelling of your last name correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And may I have your address, please?
135 Southern Boulevard, Nesconset, 11767.
All right. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
All right. Would you like this gentleman to speak for you?
Yes.
Thank you. May I have your name and spell your last name for me?
Saverio Bruscino, last name
Maybe we better spell your first name.
Saverio. Last name is Bruscino. 13 Woodland Lane, Huntington, New York.
Okay. Raise your right
11743.
hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Okay. We're here for a side yard variance. We're on a previously built structure. The homeowner hasn't built it. It was built prior to her purchasing the house, her house. There's a 34-foot side yard total requirement, or excuse me. Right. There's a 34-foot total required side yard. We have 31.4-foot existing total. When the structure that's in question, which is an addition, it's like an art room on the back of a garage, was built, it was built in line with the side of the existing house. Unfortunately, this house had a variance when it was originally built 40, 50 years ago. So when that little room was built, it was built 2'6" further over than it should be. Even though it's still in line with the side of the house, it really should have been like 2.5 foot shorter. So if you look at the photographs, it doesn't protrude, it doesn't extend past the line of the house, but technically it's 2.5 feet shy of a required side yard. So to get a CO for this structure, we have to get a variance for the total side yard requirement. Okay. Now, there's no impact on adjacent properties. There's no view obstructed. There's no problem with adjacent properties. Due to its size, it's not a large structure, so doesn't require a large variance. It's only 125 square feet. The structure was pre-existing the existing owners. It doesn't require any sanitary. It's not going to release any chemicals into the environment, so there's no environmental impact. And this was not created by the existing owner, but it was created by the former owner. So it is a created hardship, but it's a small created hardship. I believe that's it. If there's any questions.
Okay. Planning?
Planning has no questions.
Okay.
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Really moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Okay. Next case is case 16553, Thomas and Michelle Nestor, 373 Remsen Street, St. James, location northwest corner of Clinton Avenue and Remsen Street, St.
Form. So I'm here because of my error in not crossing my T's and dotting my I's and making sure that they had listed it as a 6-foot fence.
Planning?
Planning would like to recommend approval with the condition that the applicant keep all existing plantings along that fence line.
Yes.
And there is a small void in that area by the fence, and that 2 6-foot-high Leland cypresses be planted in that spot.
What we did in that spot that's missing there, when they were constructing the pool, they had taken that part of the fence down to come in and out off of Clinton Street. We planted, I don't know if it's a cypress or I can get you the name of the plant if you need it, but it's a small bowl, like a small bulb that you'll see now that's starting to grow a little bit. When we bought the plant, it's supposed to grow to between 15 and 20 feet and go out 10 to 12 feet. It looks small now, but when we bought the plant, that's what we were told. We bought it out at a planting farm, but if you need me to remove that to put something else in, we'll be more than happy to do that.
All right.
I don't know how long it's going to take to grow, but that's what they told us it grows to eventually over the course of time.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
It's already moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16554, Michael and Patricia Tully, 279 Lincoln Avenue, St. James, location east side of Lincoln Avenue, south of 4th Street, St. James, property zone R10. Request variance to reduce the minimum front yard setback from 40 feet to 25, 30 feet existing for an existing 136 square foot porch.
My name is Michael Tully, 279 Lincoln Avenue, St. James, New York.
Raise your right hand, please. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Want to tell us why you're here, please?
I'm here to get a variance to reduce the front yard from 40 to 25 feet for an existing porch. The variance doesn't impact the neighborhood or the adjacent properties at all. It's not a substantial thing. It's an open front porch that replaced a 4-foot stoop with an overhang that used to be there and extended it to the length of the house. There is no alternative other than going back to the 4-foot stoop because I need access to the front door. There is no environmental impact when it was put in, and I created this problem 19 years ago when I had the porch built without a permit. Is that it? I don't know what else you need.
Planning?
Planning has no comments.
No, ma'am.
Nothing, thanks.
Okay. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Regularly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Next case is case 16555, Smithtown Venture LLC. Location, south side of Veterans Memorial Highway, east of Comac Road, Comac, property zone SCB. Request special exception to allow counter service restaurant in SCB. Waive special exception requirement for a 25-foot planting area along the front property line. What are those?
And affidavit of compliance.
Okay.
Good evening, Bram Weber, Weber Law Group, 290 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 200E, Melville, for Smithtown Venture LLC, which is the ground lessee pursuant to a ground lease for the majority of King Cullen Plaza. Pardon me. King Cullen Plaza is 386,536 square feet regional shopping center on 35.71 acres, which is zoned shopping center business, and location is 60 Veterans Memorial Highway in Comac. The applicant is responsible for securing the special exception and waiver of one special exception standard to permit the construction of a 60-seat, 2,921 square foot Moe's Southwest Grill in one of the existing pads of 20,592 square feet. So what I've done here just by this exhibit, this is the entire shopping center, and this location here, which you may have a copy of in your packet, is the one pad where the restaurant is going. Currently has a Chase Bank, a Sprint, and a Party City, and the Moe's Southwest Grill is going in this one tenant space here. Since we filed a detailed special exception application which showed the criteria by which we satisfy the special exception criteria and also the justification for the waiver, I'm not going to read through all of the specific details of the application. I'm certainly happy to answer questions as well. We have Mike Walsh with us, who is the Moe's franchisee for the location, if anyone has any operational questions, but that completes my presentation, subject to questions.
Planning has no comments.
Okay. All right. Gentlemen, do you have any questions?
No.
Okay. You're very familiar with the site, right? Okay. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Okay. Just let me tell you that there's not going to be any action tonight because I don't have any secret,
Correct.
right?
The only thing we ask is that when the hearing's closed, if we could just get a decision as soon as possible, as soon as SECRET's ready.
Yeah.
So they could get going, that would be great.
Yeah. As soon as we do get a secret, now I guess they're waiting for health department? Is
We
that
got
what-
it. We actually hand-delivered it yesterday. We got it back in September. It wasn't delivered to the environmental department, but they got it, the full set of signed plans from the health department yesterday.
Okay. All right.
And I mean, I have copies for you today if you'd like also of the plans.
That's all right. Then I'm hoping that by the next meeting, we get the...
Yes.
The secret.
So are we.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Okay. I don't know if we're going, did she give him the trees that have to be planted? I don't know if we'll. Okay. That's all right. No problem. Next case is case 16541, Peter Ramos. Oh, did I close? There's no action. Yeah, I think we did. All right, I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Okay. Next, now we close. Next case is case 16541, Peter Ramos, 5 Rainbow Drive, Hop Hog. Location, north side of Rainbow Drive, east of Mount Pleasant Road, Hopog, property zone R15. Request variance to reduce the minimum front yard from 45 feet to 37 for an existing 84 square foot porch. And your name, please?
Peter Ramos, R-A-M-O-S. I reside at 196 Gunther Avenue, Bay Shore, New York. Can I start?
Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we're all set tonight, huh?
Okay. Yeah, I'm set. My paperwork's good.
Okay, go ahead.
Like I said, we rehabbed the house. I built the portico. I didn't know that I took frontage until the inspector knocked on my door and said, you got to go through proper channels. We went through, did all the paperwork. He came back and inspected it. It's not causing any environmental impact, and my neighbors certainly can definitely see across my yard. And that's pretty much it.
Anything from planning?
Madam Chairman, this gentleman here just told me that a woman was asking if there was anything to be heard tonight on Rainbow Drive. I didn't know the exact address of this case, and the woman left, so I don't know if that has any bearing on anything. I just wanted to let you know.
Well, she should have stayed. Yep, he did what he was supposed to do. Yep, okay.
Okay.
All right. Okay, any questions, gentlemen?
Oh, thanks.
All right,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Is there anyone here that would like to be heard on this application? Hearing none?
No, gentleman right here.
Oh, come up, please. I'm sorry, I didn't see you. Okay. I just, come on, I got to swear you in and everything. Let me have your name, please.
Alfred Holmes.
Spell your last name
Holmes.
and your address, please.
7 Rainbow Drive.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. I came here for 2 reasons. One, to see what this process is. And second, for what it's worth, I think whatever it looks like, it's a definite improvement to both the house and the appearance of the neighborhood.
It's just the covering the porch.
It's just a covering over the front stoop.
Right.
I wish my house had that.
Oh.
I live next to the same house. So
Okay.
just, it's a positive improvement.
All right. Thank you. I did swear him in, didn't I? Okay. All right. Anyone else? Okay, thank you. That completes our hearings for tonight.
We didn't close it.
Oh, I didn't close it? All right. All right, is there anyone? I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
So moved. Second.
Really moving second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carried. And that